Welcome back to Mock Draft Madness, day 30 of doing a mock draft every single day until the NFL draft on April 25th. If you don't know ball and want to know ball, be sure to subscribe. Leave a like. Let me know in the comments your favorite and least favorite pick from this mock draft, as well as trade scenarios that I will be trying out. Happy Easter, guys. I was going to do a 2-round mock. I'm kind of running late. I was cooking this morning, so I'll do the 2-round mock tomorrow. Another 1-round mock today. Like usual, we're going to start the draft off with Caleb Williams. I don't know if there's going to be any Easter specials here, but, we're going to do just kind of a mock draft on kind of how I feel it would go. I don't really have any ideas kind of going off the top of my head. I'm kind of not rushing through this one, but I'm just trying to go. I don't have any set situations that I have planned out, like trade scenarios, anything like that, outside of probably the Minnesota Vikings trading up to probably 4 or 5. So I'm going to have the New England Patriots taking Jaden Daniels and the Cardinals taking Marvin Harrison Jr. So I think this is kind of how the top 4 is going to go. I know I just kind of picked through that, but I'm ready to start. I have been for kind of a month now, but Caleb Williams to the Bears is almost kind of a lock at this point. They're not moving off one, and I still believe that the upside of Drake May is higher than you're going to get with a Jaden Daniels. And the idea that, unless I feel like the Chargers are a lot more willing to move off of 5 because Marvin Harrison Jr. is probably already gone, then the Cardinals would be to move off 4 and miss out on Marvin Harrison. Jaden Daniels to the Patriots, he's the 3rd quarterback available. I see him probably a lot more ready to go than a J.J. McCarthy. Do the Patriots need a ready-to-go quarterback at this stage in their roster building? I don't think so. I think J.J. might be a play here. I don't think it's reality unless they trade out. But if you're looking at this, the Chargers are on the clock, and they can either take a player or gather draft capital for the future. So this is what we're going to do, because this was a trade scenario proposed to me in the draft. So the Chargers are going to trade back with the Minnesota Vikings. They're going to give them 11, 23, and then 3 and 4. So because I'm being told the 3 first are unreasonable. But here's my issue with that, okay? The issue I have with this and not trading the first is, after you're going to get pick 5, right? You're going to get pick 5, and I understand the roster's pretty good. And you're going to take the 4th quarterback off the board who needs to develop. You then no longer, after you pick J.J. McCarthy, you don't have another pick until 108 in a very shallow draft. After round 4, it gets really kind of iffy. The talent drops off. And then going into next year, you have a 1st-round pick, and then you don't pick again until round 5 because you don't have a 2nd-round pick. So you are arguably, yes, the caliber of player you're going to get in the 1st round is better, but you're going to have 3 picks next year, and obviously you can accumulate more, you can draft more, but you're giving up more picks in this draft, or you're giving up more picks in total than if you were to just trade the first. And I get it. It's a higher caliber player, but you're leaving yourself with 3 draft picks on a team that, is going to take a couple years to really develop. So I guess if you want to look at it like that, it makes sense. But I'm just going to go with this because this is what I was offered in the offered up in the comments. So we're going to force this trade through. So now the Minnesota Vikings are on the clock. They are going to take J.J. McCarthy. At number 6, we have the New York Giants. I think they probably are going to take a wide receiver here, but I don't think it's completely out of the realm for them to trade back. I think they're a team that still needs a couple, draft assets to help solidify their team. And if they're able to pick up another 2nd and replace what they lost for Brian Burns, they basically got Brian Burns for what they traded away Leonard Williams for. So I'm trying to think if there's any team that would possibly want to trade up here and get their guy. I think maybe here's what we're going to do. We are going to trade back with the New York Jets. We're going to give them 10. Well, I don't know, because they don't have a 2nd. Because I was going to say, they're trying to win these next 2 years, and adding a guy like a Romo Dunze or Malik Neighbors can really be a game changer. So maybe what we do then is we can give them 10, pick swap, We'll give them 72. They give us 107. And maybe I don't know. I don't know what the draft capital would be here, guys. Maybe a second here and a third next year, and they give us a fourth. Seems okay to me. I don't. But then it's like, as the Giants, you're not getting anything up front. So no, let's not do this trade. This doesn't make sense really for the Giants here. It would have to be a team definitely with with a second round pick. And the only team that has like 2 second round picks, I believe, would probably be the Texans. But I don't know. Maybe we stick and pick here, because I'm trying to think. None of these teams here really are trying to compete like right now outside of the Jets. And the Jets are just in a unique situation because Aaron Rodgers went down. I mean, shit, maybe the Bengals could come up. Like, maybe the Bengals come up here. Let's see what they got to offer. Do I think this is going to happen? Hell no, but it's a little bit fun. I think it would probably cost round 1 next year as well. But if you believe that Malik Neighbors can be that caliber of player, and the thing with the Bengals is they already kind of have like a really good team. So let's force this trade through. The Bengals are on the clock at 6, and they're going to take Malik Neighbors to pair with Jamar Chase. At number 7, we have the Tennessee Titans. I've been going left tackle and wide receiver for them, so I'm going to give them Rome Odunze in this situation. So we have 4 quarterbacks and 3 wide receivers off the board in the top 7 picks. Dallas Turner is going to be going to Atlanta to play for Raheem Morris. Joe Alt to the Bears at 9. I think if any of the top receivers are there or Joe Alt is there, that is going to be the pick for the Bears. Good is not good enough with Braxton Jones, and they replace him there. Now, I think Brock Bowers is in play for the Jets because of the fact that he is a weapon, and they kind of have the line solidified. I also think it would be kind of a smart idea to, take O-line to develop, because someone is probably going to get hurt. So I guess it depends on if you want to recoup a second-round pick and move back, or if you want to stick and pick at 10 right here. So I think they could probably pick up a second if they were to move back and get a wide receiver later in the rounds. I don't necessarily know who wants to move up here to get Brock Bowers. So I think, unfortunately, they're going to have to probably stick and pick. So I am probably going to go Fautanu. I really want to go wide receiver here. Like, I want to get him like a Brian Thomas Jr., but the reality is taking him at 10 is like really, really rich. So maybe we don't try to recoup a second and we just see if there's a team that wants to move up. So the Saints want to move up. The Bucks want to move up. Maybe like the Bucks really want to move up. So let's give them a second next year as well. And we're going to force this trade through. So now the Bucks are on the clock. And they can add any of these guys here. I know that they have Vita Vea, they have Kalijah Cansey, and they have that, a powerful D-line. But I still think it needs a little bit more depth, and I think maybe adding a guy like a Jared Verse could be nuts. I think 10 is a little rich for him. I also think the reality of adding a guy like a Terrion Arnold here could be kind of crazy. I think with the way Todd Bowles plays defense, though, we will probably go with Jared Verse. At number 11, I am going to go to Lisa Fuaga for the Chargers, and the reason being is that Jim Harbaugh basically stated that the O-line needs to be good for the rest of the team to be good, so I really have a hard time believing that they're going to pass up probably the best right tackle in the class at this pick. They can also play him at guard if they want to play out Trey Pipkins at right tackle, and then you have a pretty built-out offensive line. At number 12, we have Brock Bowers to the Denver Broncos. I think, if you're going to go best player available here, I think Bowers is the guy that you're going to take, and you could also have Sean Payton use him in the slot, so it does make a lot of sense. At number 13 for the Las Vegas Raiders, give me Terrion Arnold to beef up their corner room. I think they could also possibly look at D-line. I know there's so much investment there. I think offensive line and cornerback is a lot more needy, but if you really want to make your D-line scary, you can take one. I just think they'll shy away because of the issue with Tyree Wilson. At number 14, we have the New Orleans Saints. Olu Fashanu comes in to take Trevor Penning's spot. Ryan Ramczyk is down. Cesar Ruiz, their O-line is kind of a mess. 15 to the Indianapolis Colts. If Terrion Arnold and Quinn Mitchell are there, one of them is getting taken by the Colts. 16 for the Seattle Seahawks. I think they could add edge. So I'm going to add them Leatu Latu. They've invested in edge, but I don't think there's that alpha one guy in the room. They've invested in like second round picks and everything like that, but at the end of the day, Latu can be that guy for them. At number 17, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have had some issues kind of re-signing Josh Allen, but I think adding a guy like a Jerzon Newton on the interior can make that defensive line really, really scary. 18 to the New York Giants. So we had them picking up, so now they have 2 seconds this year, a third, and 2 firsts next year, just to move back to 18. And yes, you're not going to get the guy like Malik Neighbors, but you can get a guy like a Brian Thomas Jr. here, and you have a ton of capital build up in a deep wide receiver class. At number 19, we have the Los Angeles Rams, Byron Murphy, to do his best to replace Aaron Donald. 20 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like the idea of going Cooper DeJean here, just to pair with Minkah Fitzpatrick and Joey Porter Jr., but we can also add a guy like Troy Fautanu who can play tackle, he can play interior. We can add J.C. Latham, we can add Amarius Mims, we can add a center. I like the idea of going Graham Barton because he's someone that could play center, he can play all interior, and he can also play tackle if needed. 21, we have the Miami Dolphins. I think maybe going Amarius Mims here to learn behind Austin Jackson and Teron Armstead. And he can kind of play either side when needed. Teron Armstead, he's always on the fence about retiring, and you just don't know where that's going to go. At number 22, we have the Philadelphia Eagles on the clock. I think this is a situation where Cooper DeJean is a very good fit for you. You could also go Tyler Guyton. Those are kind of the guys I lean with. Adonai Mitchell is also not a bad pick. I almost just selected him by accident. I think DB is important, but the only DB that I like for them outside of Terrion Arnold and Quinyon Mitchell is probably Cooper DeJean. They do have an older room, so they do need to kind of replenish that with youth, but this guy can move around the whole room, play safety, play corner. 23 to the Los Angeles Chargers, we had Fuanga going, and with the wide receiver of Adonai Mitchell's kind of caliber, pairing him with Quentin Johnston, you moved on from Keenan Allen, you moved on from Mike Williams. This can be a guy to kind of fill that spot. Now, I'm going to go Troy Fautanu to the Dallas Cowboys because he's someone that can play all 5 positions. They kind of have a little bit of uncertainty on their line, losing Viedas and Tyler Smith. So we are going to go with Troy Fautanu. At number 25, we have the Green Bay Packers. They do need interior of their offensive line. So I am going to go with a Jackson Powers Johnson, someone who can move around and play all 3 spots. Back on the clock with the New York Jets, who traded back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They now have a 2nd round pick, 2 seconds next year, and a 1st. What is BLT? Comp BLT. I want to know what that means. Anyway, they need a wide receiver. They also need tackle. I think if they're able to get a guy like a J.C. Latham at this spot, that would be a great pick after already recouping draft capital. 27 to the Arizona Cardinals. Give me Nate Wiggins. He just seems like a Cardinals player to me. 28 to the Buffalo Bills. I think they'll probably go receiver, but I also think corner could be an option for them. Give me Troy Franklin to pair with Stephon Diggs. I think that could be good. I went Keon Coleman yesterday. I also like the idea of adding a guy like Chop Robinson to their edge. Von Miller just has not been the same player that he really was. And, they do have Greg Rousseau, AJ Epineza, but we know that like these teams to be dominant in the dominant pass teams, you have to have a good rotation of pass rushers. So give me Chop Robinson at 28. 29, we're going to give the Detroit Lions Kool-Aid McKinstry. They desperately need corner help, especially after the Cam Sutton incident. Baltimore Ravens on the clock. I have gone, tackle here. I've gone wide receiver. I also think the idea of adding a corner isn't the worst idea in the world. I don't know if you're going to do it at pick 30. Looking for the Baltimore Ravens here. It's Marlon Humphrey, Brandon Stevens. Maybe adding a guy like a TJ Tampa could be a game changer for them. TJ Tampa and Kyle Hamilton are kind of a scary combo. 31 to the San Francisco 49ers. Guyton makes a lot of sense for them. Morgan makes a lot of sense for them. But let's add a cornerback in Kamari Lassiter. 32, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they're kind of fucked at this point, especially with the Rashee Rice situation. That does not sound good at all. So you may have to force it here and go with a guy like a Jermaine Burton because it's a little high for him, but he is a guy that can be very good even though he does have a screw loose or two. At the end of the day, his talent is off the charts. This has been Mock Draft Madness Day 30. If you don't know ball and want to know ball, be sure to subscribe. Leave a like. Let me know in the comments your favorite and least favorite pick from this mock draft. Happy Easter. Hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.